Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's time for coffee and conversations. Good morning, Jill. Oh, you have coffee. 40 days is quite a lot to go without. Yes, thank the Lord for his mercy and grace. Um, and that's the thing. Like, there with when we understand that Lent is just for the purpose of drawing us into the Lord and uh, us emptying ourselves, so to speak, we can give ourselves grace even when we don't complete the task we set out before us. We're not earning our way to heaven because you couldn't if you tried. We are finite, fallen human beings who, even when we try to do good things, muck them up. Anyhow, all right, so let's talk about coffee, or let's talk about announcements. So we got our Setting the Stage campaign going. Hope you've prayerfully considered giving to it. And if you have, awesome. Thank you so much. If you've given, if you plan to give, thank you so much. Maybe you get your tax return coming up, or maybe you get it on sometime after April 15th because you file your taxes on April 15th. Lord bless you for waiting till the last minute, and may you get a large tax refund, and may you use some of it for the purposes of the Lord. Anyhow, so we've thanks for those who've given. We hopefully you will prayerfully consider giving if you haven't done so already. We want to set the stage for the future and be prepared for the future, and so that's what this is all about. Also, youth ministry are doing a fundraiser. They're selling meat sticks. You should grab some of these. You should. Ghost Fire. I jokingly told Lance that we need to do a the meat stick heat equivalent of a walkathon, where we say, okay, will you give a certain amount of money if we go a certain distance? So maybe Lance or a youth or me eats this, and the longer we can wait without drinking water, the more money we earn. Or not water, because water would be a bad idea, but milk or something. So hopefully you grabbed it's hot. Did you try it, Allison? Or did Harry try it? Anyhow, I hope you grabbed some of these and supported them, or just gave them money. They've raised $370 so far, which is fantastic. We would love for the youth to be able to go and help subsidize the cost, either partially or fully, for some of the youth. And so them selling these is a way to help with that. And so if you've bought them, you're going to help some youth go on retreat, spend some time away with the youth leaders, Lance and Shannon, and then some other people, to just be built up spiritually, learn from the Word. I think Lance is going to be teaching through the book of Philippians. If I remember correctly, he was feeling like that would be the book that they were going to go through. So it'll be a great time of them building relationship and bonds and hearing from God's Word. And so thank you if you've contributed by purchasing these or just given them money. So, all right. So Billy wanted one and then wanted Allison to take a bite. And so I want to know Billy's response. Did Billy think it was hot? I know Mark Dowenhauer bought like 4 of them, and I'm curious if he's survived eating those. And so, yeah, grab them, give them some money, help youth go on retreat, help them build their spiritual foundation. They're in the midst of that season of life where they're building the foundation that will reverberate, they'll build upon the rest of their life. And so it is a great place to start, and something we hope that you'll help foster. He liked it. Fascinating. Awesome. Ghost peppers they're just kind of, if you've ever had anything with ghost pepper, it's just heat for the sake of pain. There's no flavor to it. It doesn't taste good. It's just I think I've only had something with ghost pepper in it once, and it was a piece of jerky, and it was like this big, and it was a church member at another church gave it to me, and he's like, you gotta have this, you gotta try. And I heard the echoes of Biff from Back to the Future, where he's like, what are you, Chicken McFly? And so I took a bite of it, and promptly regretted it, and then regretted it for at least a half hour, maybe 45 minutes or an hour. I even ate ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and it didn't do a lick of good. They are just painful, but some people love it. And I don't understand it. It's like a scary movie. Like, why do people actually enjoy scary movies? I don't understand. I don't like being scared. I don't want to watch something that makes me feel scared. Why do I subject myself to this? Yeah, that's how I feel about Ghost Peppers. All right, ladies, hopefully you've filled out the women's ministry survey. If you haven't yet and you want to turn it in, you could drop it off today or tomorrow morning by 10 would be ideal, because they're going to meet and go through the surveys tomorrow. And they just want to make sure that they're best positioned to minister to the women of the congregation as ladies doing life on life together. And that looked like boxing. Iron sharpens iron, but like they want to minister to the women of the congregation, and they want to best equip themselves to do that. And so by talking to you and hearing from you, that enables that. I suppose we need to do that for the guys too. But yeah, I promise bacon. But I promise bacon every month for men's breakfast. So anyhow, and then last thing is 101 class on the 23rd. If you haven't gone through 101, we would love for you to go through it, to come to the class. We need you to register though, so that way we have enough. We can plan meal food. We bring in a lunch for those and whatnot. So we would love for you to do it if you haven't done it yet. And yeah. All right. Okay. So what I don't know about y'all, but I loved Steve's sermon on Sunday, and I just want to think about it and process it a little bit more. Just some of the things he said, and I told him this, and I told Amber this, and it felt like, and this is a tremendous compliment in my mind, like perhaps highest, maybe not the highest, but close to it. Like, that was the most John Piper-esque sermon I've ever heard not preached by John Piper. And it was just fantastic. You could tell that Steve had just spent time reflecting and meditating upon the words that he was preaching to us. And it welled up my heart. I hope it welled up your heart. Just the thought that like more than we can imagine, like from First Corinthians, Second Corinthians, whatever Corinthians passage it was, verse 9, First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. And just that idea that heaven is going to be more glorious and more amazing than anything that we can think about. I can think about some really awesome things. I mean, we have all seen fantastic, amazing things that just blow our mind. Like, when we experience them, when we see them, they blow our mind. I think of going to the Wedge in Southern California, which is right outside of Newport Beach, Newport Harbor. And it's this, they've built a jetty out into the ocean, and the way the jetty is into the ocean, certain swells of waves come in at a certain angle, certain times a year, and it causes this like funneling effect for all the power of the waves to kind of crest in the corner of the beach and the jetty, and it just like thunders, and it just shakes you. You think of the power of God, and that's just but a little bitty grain of God, of reflection of God's power. Or you think of Big Sur with these massive waves that come and crash, and you're just like, wow, like that's what we have experienced, and that's what we see. And we think of the glory of Mount Rainier or some other massive mountain. You go to Glacier National Park and you see the mountains there. You go to Colorado and you see the Rockies, or you go to Alaska and you see mountains there. You see a whale jumping, breaching, and crashing. You think of all these things that just beauty and grandeur and awesomeness, and heaven's greater than all of that. Is it a place you want to go? It's like, when we think of what heaven is and the joy that is set before us, with it, it enables us to endure all the things that get in the way of us pursuing heaven. But the joy set before him, he endured the cross. Hebrews speaks of Jesus, which we're going to be going through Hebrews in the fall. So, yeah, that's like heaven is so awesome. It is a place we should want to go because it's where God is. If you don't want to be around God, then heaven's not going to be very heavenly for you. And so, it's fascinating, actually. If you've never read The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis, I'd encourage you to read it. Just how he paints this picture of why hell is hell for people and why people would be drawn to heaven. I'm not sure if he's advocating for a idea of purgatory, but he's just giving an allegory, like he was so capable of doing, of the Christian life and why hell is the way it is. And if you haven't read it, you should read it. If you don't have it, you can check it out of the library. I have a copy you can borrow. You can buy it for a few bucks. It's worth getting. Do you need to own it? Probably not. But it's a fantastic book. You could read it in like less than a week. So I would encourage you to grab it and read it. But the idea that heaven is going to be better than we can imagine, I think of movies like Avatar, where the characters go to a faraway planet and there's like floating rocks on the planet. Like, what is that? What is heaven? What is the heavenly cosmos going to be like? It's going to be a renewed version of this, and a perfect version, and restored. And I think Steve is totally on point in that there will be exploration and whatnot. And I kind of hope it's going to be like Stargate, where we'll jump through like a wormhole, and I kind of think we'll explore the universe through wormholes. No theological justification for that. Because realistically, God can just boom. You see it with Philip after he baptizes the Ethiopian eunuch. He baptizes him, and he's up out of the water, and Philip's gone. That would be very interesting. Philip traveled through space and time instantaneously to another place. You won't need a rocket. The only reason there'll be a rocket in heaven is for fun. Not because you need it to travel, I don't think. Jesus went through walls. Yeah, resurrected bodies are fascinating. The idea of resurrected bodies, our bodies will be like his. Oh, fascinating. Even after service on Sunday, someone was saying, "What age do you think we'll be when we're in heaven? Our resurrected bodies, what age will they be?" I said, I don't really know, but I kind of like whatever our ideal age would have been, sans fall. So whatever that would be for each of us, that's kind of what I pictured. I mean, like if someone dies at 2, I don't think they stay 2 for all of eternity. So what age would it have been? And Steve was there. He's like, I think it'll be 33. Just positing off of that, roughly when we think Jesus was around. He was in his 30s when he went to the cross, and so mid 30s. And when you think about it, that's kind of like the ideal intersection of humanness. You've kind of done all your growing. You could be kind of at peak performance, unless you're a NFL football star, when peak performance is like 25 or 26, but peak bodily abilities, but your mind is fully formed. So like in that range, mid 30s is kind of like the idealness of human life. And it would make sense if that's when Jesus's ministry took place, and that's what his resurrected body. But whatever, not that it matters. Like these are pure speculations. I love what Steve talked about, kind of like do what you're supposed to be doing until you can't do it anymore. He talked about at one point in the sermon, like just keep going, keep pressing on. don't kind of just sit down and do nothing. Like, just keep doing it until you can't do it anymore. Live in light of the call until the end. Press on. What a joyful encouragement he considered us to. I love the idea, the reality that the saints in heaven know what's going on. He's absolutely right. We don't pray or ask the saints to intercede on our behalf, but knowing that our those who have gone on before us can see and know at least minimum the persecution that people are experiencing here. What an encouragement, knowing that there are our brothers and sisters in the Lord who are in the Lord's presence, are interceding on our behalf, asking him to do things for us. We don't need to go to them to ask them to pray for us, because guess what? We've got a faithful high priest who is at the Father's side and is praying on our behalf. He's interceding for us. Yes. You know what, Jill, just as you say that, Tara, who went to be with the Lord last year, right? I since COVID, my brain has difficult time tracking when things occurred. I'm pretty sure that was last year or the year before, right? But Jill, Karen, Allison, can you imagine the joy on Tara's face when she could go like this? Oh, like, you know, she clapping up a storm in joy to the Lord, shouting to his great praises and declaring how good he was, and her being able to jump around and breathe fully without any of the consequences of the physical ongoing consequences of the life choices she made, and she well owned, and she saw God's grace in all of it. But yeah, yes, I love that woman so much. That was so if you're not familiar, there was a time where I asked everyone to raise their left hand, and Tara, who had lost her left hand because of drug use, it infected, and it was she snarkily from the back called me out that she couldn't. But you know what? She will be raising that left hand to praise the Lord. And I hope when I get to heaven, I will find Tara and high five that left hand. Friends, heaven is going to be a magnificent place. First and foremost, because it's with God, and it is perfection, and the glory that it will be. I hope Steve's sermon stoked your heart, stoked your fuel, took those coals that are the fire of your passion for the Lord, and just stirred them up to make the flames fan. Friends, as we think about heaven and the glory it will be, it should drive us. It should drive us to strive to go to him and keep doing the things that he's called us to do. Stoke those fires. I recently was doing an evangelism training cohort where the speaker was talking about what are little phrases we can throw into our conversations that are seeds that we can plant in our everyday conversations with people that could lead to evangelistic conversations. And one of the seeds he said we could plant, we could use is, that's what I love about Jesus. And I think we could think about the things that God, when we think about heaven and the truths that even Steve brought out in the Revelation chapter 6, verses 9 to 11, those passages, or that passage. What do you love about Jesus that is reflected in that? That he knows the pain that his people experience. They are in his presence. He is holy, true, and right. Oh man, praise be to God. I think of the question that someone asked in service about like us knowing that we might have loved ones in hell. How will we not have sorrow when that occurs? And I think Tim Keller said about prayer, but I think it would apply to this as well, is when we get to heaven, we will see that God did everything right and the way we would have done it if we knew everything that he knew. So when we think about the prayers that go unanswered and the prayers that go answered, if we knew everything that God knew, God knows, and we were capable of doing everything that God is capable of doing, we would answer our prayers in the exact same way that he did. Now, that doesn't mean there's not mystery removed, but we're gonna get there, and it's not gonna be a dimly lit mirror. And we're gonna see it, and we're gonna fully understand it. So, friends, let the thought of heaven encourage you and make you, like, set you on fire. The thoughts of heaven should not make us useless here. They should make us more useful here. So I hope that the sermon encouraged you as he shared. It encouraged me. I'm stoked. The fire of my heart is stoked. Passions for the Lord. So, friends, I hope you have a great rest of your week. If you need anything, you let us know, and we will see you on Sunday. Yeah, and Pastor Craig's going to be preaching, and I think he's continuing on in his Ecclesiastes series. So, yeah, life's short, eternity's long. Life is full of weakness and hardship. Eternity won't be. Count it a joy, friends, to experience suffering, that trials, things that will be but for a short, brief period of time, because of what they produce in you as you look forward to heaven. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you Sunday.